I like you, you like me. If I like you, you like me. If I like you, yeah. If I like you, if I like you, you like me. If I like you, you like me.
Hello and welcome to a kitchen table episode. Sorry everybody, while I was taking down our setup, I broke one of the mic clips, which means we don't have our high quality setup. So we're doing a kitchen table episode around my phone.
Regardless, hi
Hello.
everyone.
Yeah, welcome to another episode of Not Another Couples Podcast. As promised, following our video game episode, we are talking about Baldurs Gate 3. Probably one of my favorite video games of at least the decade. And one I finally convinced Megan to play after much trials and tribulations.
You just gotta give it a chance for me to decide to play it, not try to force it on me.
Yes, you can lead your wife to a AAA game, but you cannot make her play it.
There you go.
So I know this episode's sort of better late than never. Like the virality of Baldurs Gate was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of late on the trend, but
here we are now. I know I was a day one early release purchaser before the game ever really came out.
But you were already really into the franchise.
I loved Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2. All the D&D games have been big wins for me. So I was always going to get this game. And I liked Divinity and Divinity Original Sin 2 enough that when I heard Larian was making it, I was super all in. Yeah. You finally played this game.
Yep.
Yeah. So just as a note, we'll say right off the bat, Megan played a Dragonborn Barbarian for her first rodeo.
A gold Dragonborn Barbarian.
And I joined her finally giving a shot at Circle of Spores Druid, which is a class that I really want to try in an actual D&D game at some point.
You were a half-elf, right?
I think so. Yeah. I know I named my character after my first D&D character, Varen Windsong.
And I named mine Audra, which really is kind of a play on the gold thing, where gold is AU on the periodic table. And I tried to figure out a name that had AU in it. So rather than going with Audrey or Aubrey, I went with Audra. It sounded more barbarian-esque.
And Berserker Barbarian, to be specific.
Yes.
I think we can chalk this one up for another Casey recommendation scoreboard win.
Yes, we can.
This one gets another arm cross of approval.
You're on the scoreboard again. Yes, yeah. I know.
Yeah. So, Megan, before we get too deep in the weeds, just tell us your thoughts about the game.
I mean, what's there to say that hasn't already been said?
We haven't said anything yet.
I mean, really, what hasn't been said already online by the millions of other players that are so into this game? The fact alone that I have already, the following day after we wrapped up our playthrough together, I have already started another playthrough by myself. That alone should speak volumes. This was a great game to play, and I'm already missing a game that the two of us can play together, which we're gonna figure out another one.
We're about to start It Takes Two.
Maybe we'll see, but no, this one I had a lot of fun for sure playing this one.
Why did you fight me so hard on this one?
I think what it is I'm not usually the biggest fan of co-op games. I like to play by myself a lot. I don't necessarily like the limitations of I gotta wait for this person to be ready to play. Oh, I gotta wait, or they want to go to bed early, or all this good stuff. And it was more of I just couldn't wait for the next person. I have next to no patience when it comes to things like that.
It didn't have to be a co-op game, though.
No, it didn't, but I'm glad it was, because I don't think I would have been comfortable enough to navigate this game for the first time on my own. I'm glad I had you to help me, for sure.
Oh, good. Talking about which ending you got, we did a custom character, a Tav, as the canonical name for playing a custom adventurer is. We can go through. You got Gale decided to become a professor. Asterion had his good. I think everyone had their good endings.
I want to say so. The only character that was not worth of note, really, that didn't elaborate on what happened to her post-battle was Minthara, which I'm sorry, but whatever. Minthara, you're not exactly the best character, but
we didn't really explore that character too awful much.
But Lae'zel was starting her crusade in the Astral Sea. Karlach and I and Will, third wheeling, went into Avernus to fight off
a third will, if you will.
A third will, if you will. Yes. But we went into Avernus to fight off Zariel's crony so that Karlach's engine wouldn't explode. And then, like you said, Gale became a professor. Asterion got his good ending. Jaheira was helping the rebuilding of Baldurs Gate.
I guess spoilers for Baldurs Gate 3.
I mean...
BT dubs.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people listening to this right now have played it, and if you haven't, let this be the episode that convinces you to play.
Yeah. Megan, did this feel like a D&D campaign, like playing the game? Did it scratch that same itch?
So, yes and no, but different reasons. So, one aspect that it did feel like a D&D game was the storytelling. The storytelling where it started out with the prompt of how everybody meets together, but it wasn't the typical, like, you meet in a tavern setting. It was very unique. But then it keeps going into stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, as it's set up in the game. But then it goes to, like, oh, you thought this was the big bad. They're the ones actually behind the story. But then you thought they were behind the whole thing. Turns out there was someone behind the curtain the entire time. And now you get to look behind that curtain and fight the real big bad. So the storytelling was excellent. Of course, the mechanics of all the characters and using the action economy, all of that felt the same.
It's all relatively true to the rules of 5th edition.
It is. The way that it didn't feel like D&D, I will say, is, what did you call it? Save scrounging or save scratching? What did you call it?
Scumming.
Safe scumming. Thank you. Yeah. The fact that if you don't like the result... In D&D, the roll of the dice, you're stuck with it. Unless you have like an ability that's like halfling luck or what have you, and you get to re-roll the result. But in this, if you didn't like the result that you got, you get to just reload the last save.
Well, in theory, you shouldn't be doing that.
Hey, you're the one that encouraged it first.
Encouraged is a word you could use, but okay.
You said several times there's no shame in safe scumming, sir.
Okay.
You said several times. But that's the only aspect I would see that this didn't feel like D&D.
Yeah. And something that's really interesting to me, you mentioned you already started your second playthrough. You're kind of using Baldur's Gate 3 to play out characters for games that were short-lived.
Yeah.
You've already made one of your previous D&D characters for an unfinished campaign in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, I grew attached to that character. Again, to point out, the Dragonborn, which I hope we get to use our characters' art as the thumbnail of this episode, that would be awesome. But if not, just visualize a gold Dragonborn barbarian warrior in pink adamantite armor. I wanted to go with an original character. I've barely been able to scratch the surface of the barbarian class, so I got to live out my barbarian fantasies with this one, and I already miss playing a barbarian a lot because it was a lot of fun. But I wanted this to be a chance, like, for my first go through, to it be something that I've never experienced before. Let it be something entirely new. Whereas for this playthrough that I just started, which at the time of this recording, I'm only at level 3. I started playing out my sorceress character, my storm sorcerer character, Arista Peregrine, who is a human sorcerer, and she comes from a campaign that unfortunately got cut short. I loved her backstory a lot, and things just didn't work out with the party for one reason, for not the actual party in the campaign, but like we couldn't get together anymore with the group. And
yeah, a lot of military friends and people ended up PCSing.
Yeah, and then we just couldn't get back together again. So that one was a character I couldn't let go. So now I get to see her full in action. I think Arista in the original campaign we played got to level, I want to say 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah, around that.
And then in Baldur's Gate, you get to go all the way to level 12. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see how far I can take a character I never got to take this far before.
We can go to 20 with mods, just saying.
I'm trying not to play with mods yet. Just, I want to appreciate more that there is to explore in the vanilla story before I introduce any mods.
Fair enough. Speaking of the story as intended, I have a couple questions for you, and I'll answer them as well. First of all, which is your favorite party member?
I mean, it is definitely Karlach. I mean, what's not to like about Karlach? She has the most infectious personality. Quite honestly, she does have a knack for being pessimistic, but I mean, honestly, she's just got the best jokes. Karlach's energy was just infectious, and I couldn't help but fall for her. So that's the character I ended up romancing, hence why we ended up in Avernus and fighting alongside each other. And yeah, I kind of wish we had gotten to explore that bit a little bit more, but we'll talk about that later. But that's definitely my favorite party member. Who is yours?
I go back and forth. I think, though, I quite like Shadowheart and I quite like Gale.
Why?
They're both great characters, and both of them are dealing with, like, I think there's a bit of me that likes the religious trauma those two characters or latches on to it.
Yeah, religious trauma with Shadowheart for sure. I mean, definitely, we both got a little attached to Gale because we both just ended up calling these characters nicknames. I mean, for Karlach, I gave her Carly. And then what did we end up calling Gale? Galer, yep.
And then Shadowheart we just call God's favorite princess.
That one's a mouthful, though.
But no, I like all the characters. I don't know if I have a favorite for the in-game. Probably, I guess, Shadowheart, because the cleric's always useful.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm going to have to do a playthrough as a cleric because that truly is my favorite D&D class. Barbarians up there now for sure as like my favorite, but those are pretty awesome. As far as like,
what about least favorite?
So at the time we played this playthrough, it used to be up until like towards the second half of stage 3, it was Lae'zel, but she's grown on me a bit. So that she's not as abrasive. Really, it's Minthara.
Yeah, that's fair.
She has zero good intentions throughout any of the part of the story she is in. And I mean, it's kind of a waste of a character.
Yeah. I won't throw out Minthara just because, like, she's really meant to be for an evil campaign, and we just kind of cheesed her into our party. Mm-hmm. So I'll say one. Minsk and Boo is kind of wasted by not being introduced until late Act 3.
I was going to say, and it's Matthew Mercer.
Yeah,
it's Matthew Mercer.
So that's my least favorite just because I want them earlier in the game.
It would have been nice so that we could have explored having them in our party a little bit more.
What about non-party NPCs? Who's your favorite?
So it's a tie. So I'm going to have to include them together. My other favorite power couple besides me and Karlach which we affectionately named the Baybarians. But really, my other favorite power couple / favorite non-party NPC was Isabel and Dalen, actually.
Ooh, okay.
They make such a cute couple together, but I just love their love story a lot. And it's very sweet. They work very well together, not just mechanics-wise as cleric and celestial being, but also they just have good chemistry together. And they're great.
I'm here for it.
Yours?
There's several. I like the elephant.
She didn't really hit it off for me.
But for me, it's got to be Volo. Love Volo.
That's actually probably my least favorite.
Oh, man.
Every time he came on the screen, it's just like, okay, say what you got to say and get out of here, you freeloader. And also the lies that kept coming out of his mouth. I'm like, okay, just...
Volo must be protected at all costs.
No, go on, get out of here.
Nope.
Especially, well, I guess it's too late for spoilers now, but also the fact that he, like, gouges your eye out in an attempt to get the tadpole out. No, sir, you're not coming anywhere near my eye.
He's such a Shakespearean character. He is the clown. And I love him for it.
He's a clown, all right.
Yeah. So you just said your least favorite. My least favorite is, this would come into play for best villain, but she's technically not a villain. Kaga pisses me off. Everything about Kaga bothers me.
So for our viewers,
the druid lady at the beginning of the game, I cannot.
Who tried to take over the Emerald Grove when Halzard was taken captive. Yeah. I'm just at that point of my second playthrough right now.
I'd call her, I don't know if she technically counts as a villain. I'd call her a villain.
She is. She's a lesser villain, for sure.
Just a bad lady. Oh, and the gnome leader, whose name slips my mind right now. I can't stand him. Like the dark gnomes. Yeah.
He's got some issues.
He ticks me off.
Though I know it's revealed, like, endgame in, like, a newspaper clipping that they disbanded or they never heard from again type thing. So
for our ending, at least. So I'm actually going to split our next question. As far as best villain goes, who's your most favorite villain? But I'm going to split that off and say also, who was your favorite boss fight? So you can separate those two. I'll tell you, I think my favorite villain is probably Ketheric Thorm.
Why Ketheric?
We spend a little bit more time with him. And the idea that he's, like, betrayed deity after deity. And he's the reason Aelin is suffering in the Gauntlet of Shar. He's the reason his daughter is so at odds. And all of his kids are ruined. He has multiple kids in the game that become multiple boss fights. And they are all ruined. This man has done so much damage to everyone around him.
For his own selfish desires.
Yeah, and also we have a legendary voice actor playing him.
That's true.
I'd almost say he's my favorite boss fight, too.
I don't know. That one frustrated me a little bit. That one was a little frustrating.
The fact that you can't heal is pretty rough.
That was not the most frustrating fight for me, but it's one of.
My favorite boss fight is the Adamantine Golem.
That was nuts. Because I'm surprised to hear you say that, because when we were playing together, you're like, no, you gotta get over here. You gotta get over here now.
I like that it takes strategy.
Yeah, that's true. You do like more strategic thinking instead of just swing and hit, all that stuff.
What about you?
Okay. So favorite villain, so for the playthrough that we did, I'm actually going to give 2 answers. One is because one of them doesn't have to be a villain, but the choices I made him that way. So first, the atypical best villain, I'm going to have to say Gortash, because the way he ascends himself into power in Baldur's Gate is actually quite brilliant. He has quite a bit of style.
So you're saying you didn't like the young, charismatic man that ascends to leadership within the city and then forms a totalitarian fascist government?
No, that's what I'm saying, is that he's the best written villain.
Yeah.
And again, he's got style. Like, I kind of wish I was able to, because you get the villains like fit afterwards, or like armor or whatever. I kind of wish my character was not a barbarian, so I could have. As far as second villain goes, the way when it came down to Orpheus and the decision to make with that, I'm actually going to give a second answer, is the Emperor.
Screw the Emperor pisses me off.
He pisses me off too, but the fact that you get this attachment and build this relationship with him, and then just for him to be at the end to say, yeah, fuck off. Yeah. You're not going to do what I want. Fuck off. For
GMs out there, for real D&D games, the Emperor is a master class in like Breaking Bad for an NPC to villain story. It's so well done.
Yes.
And you want to believe that he is still a person. That he's this former adventurer that's gone mind flayer.
Not just former adventurer, the founder of Baldur's Gate.
Legendary hero.
That's what also was so mind-blowing, because I sat there after I sat there and we were going through the bit with the great dragon Ansor, and it was revealed that he's Baldurin, and I'm like, what? What do you mean he's Baldurin? What do you mean?
He killed his best friend / lover in cold blood. It becomes
after that, it was over for me. I said, no, I want nothing to do with him anymore.
It's this interesting, like, the game makes you want to be like, no, that can't be the case. Like, this is the person I've been trusting throughout this game, where it's this person that you're slowly learning. The game is conditioning you to understand that mind flayers are not the people they were.
But they're very good at making you believe.
Yeah, and you want to believe it. I've been trying to get you to watch Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, the anime. In that anime, demons are they look human. And it's one of the things of the anime that they are creatures, they're monsters, but they have evolved to look like humans and mimic human speech. But it makes very clear that they're not people. But there's this big cognitive dissonance that, like, you want to feel bad for them. But in reality, it's just they've learned. It's like a magpie who's learned to mimic a baby crying, right? Like, it's just like it's meant to make you feel bad. And that's what the Emperor does. And that's what mind flayers do. And I've always liked them as D&D monsters. They are one of my favorites because of this game. Because you want to believe it's the same person they were. And they're just not. One of the endings you didn't do, you heard, like, there was a whole thing of Karlach being like, I'll be the one to become a mind flayer.
As soon as she suggested that, like, no, honey, we're seeing this through to the end. You're with me all the way. No.
If you choose that, then at the party at the end of the game, you have to put her down. It becomes very clear that it's not her anymore.
Ugh. No, I grew so attached to Karlach. No, thank you.
Yeah, so mind flayers are just such good monsters.
I would literally go to hell and back with Karlach.
Yeah, they're just, it's... But no, they're like perfect eldritch horror, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, so the ending, or part of the story we got, definitely the Emperor was one of my favorite villains.
It does mean that when making the Guardian at the beginning of the game, I'm just like, whatever the default is.
I randomized that anyway, but yeah. But you talk about boss fights. I don't know if I have a favorite one. I have a most frustrating one because this was one of the instances where I didn't feel like waiting for you to get home from work. And I thought, you know what? I need to learn to do this on my own. This was a terrible moment to choose to do that. And it was the temple in Baldurs Gate, the Temple of Shar, where I fought the mother of the temple and all of her cronies, all 15 of them.
Yeah, that one's rough.
That was rough. I had to restart that 4-5 times and save in the middle because it was so tough. Like
that one and Moonrise Tower have a lot of similarities of being a lot of people with a couple really dangerous people.
Oh my gosh. No, that was a very like pull my hair out fight.
I'm actually changing my answer for favorite villain. Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Ketheric is definitely up there, but that feels like a sort of basic answer. Auntie Ethel's my favorite villain.
Oh, fuck her. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
No, because for that exact reaction you just gave, Ethel is my favorite villain.
No.
I love a hag. They're so...
You've always liked hags to use in campaigns if you can. Nah, no. She made me so angry.
Yeah. And I'll say that's my favorite quest line, too. The hag stuff is my favorite quest line. What's your favorite, like, story branch?
Oh. Now, I'm not exactly sure story-wise, but... Because I'm trying to remember so much has happened in this game. I mean, I don't know if it's a favorite, but something that sticks out to me at least. It has to do with following up on the storyline of some of our party members, the redemption of Shadowheart. Mm-hmm. We managed to get that impossible role after much save scumming of her choosing not to kill Dame Aelin and her turning back to the Temple of Selûne. Just her redemption arc was really nice to see through.
Loroakin's up there for villains too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Also, the whole Githyanki Kresh and facing Vlaakith for the first time, but also letting Lae'zel see that moment where everything she knew about her life is probably a lie, to let her realize that on her own.
The game's full of a lot of, like, thinly veiled ex-evangelical characters.
You know, you half wonder if some of the writers in this game kind of had their own things to vent.
They're Swedish. Have you ever seen, like, stuff from the makers of this game?
No, I haven't, actually.
So the head of the studio, the CEO of Larian Studios, his name's Sven Venka. He shows up to all promotional events in a full suit of armor. He had smithed for, like, doing promotional events.
Now, is he doing that because he's a nerd, or is it because of, like, what the singer Sia does and she has a fear of crowds?
Answer A.
He just likes to be a big nerd.
Sven seems like he did a promo video of, like, armoring up to go fight the CEOs of Hasbro for the rights to make a Baldur's Gate game.
To put out there, I would have loved either answer, honestly.
Yeah. No, Sven Vinka seems like an interesting dude, and it does lead to the fact that Larian had a slight falling out with Wizards of the Coast, unfortunately, which
a lot of people have.
We will not get the DLCs that could have been for this game. I said several times of things I thought the DLCs could have been.
I'm going to go ahead and put out there 2 things that should have happened for DLCs. One you are definitely going to say, I know, is following up with Lae'zel and the Astral Sea. and liberating her people. I think we should have gotten that quest line that they talked about at the reunion, as far as like finding blueprints and finding a way to fix Karlach's engine once and for all, so that you could return to the material plane.
DLC 1, Descent into Avernus. DLC 2, Spelljammer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, that's what I would have had a choice for a DLC.
Let our characters be space pirates.
I'm not sure if there would have been anything else to
fight killer clowns in space.
To follow up through for DLCs.
We'll let Boo meet his larger space hamster brethren.
But I don't know if there would be any other endings in the story that would need tying up.
Yeah.
That would follow up to a DLC.
Speaking of additional stories in Baldur's Gate 3, we've played a lot of D&D. We've played a handful of pre-written modules. Which pre-written D&D module would you like to see get the Baldur's Gate 3 treatment?
So I had to think about it a bit. This is also another campaign I'm sad we didn't get to see through. And there's no way that I can play this one out because it was set very specifically in this story setting. I would love to see the Isles of Chult.
Oh, that'd be cool, doing Tomb of Annihilation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be down. That'd be down for that.
And in that campaign, in that story setting, I created a ranger, but she was a scientist that was being sort of a reverse paleontologist. So I guess paleontologist is the right word. Mm-hmm. The dinosaur scientist. I'm going to sound so
sort of
silly.
A dinosaur Steve Irwin.
Exactly. And I remember this. My dinosaur, I had an iguanodon as a Beastmaster Ranger for this campaign, and her name was Peaches.
And your character was Dr. Krem, so it was Peaches and Cream.
Yes. Dr. Zola Cream. Oh no, I would love to see that in the next game, though I know that's few and far between because they'll have to like CGI computer animate dinosaurs.
I'm gonna give the basic answer and say Curse of Strahd.
I've played Curse of Strahd
we started it twice and never finished it.
And it's like pulling teeth for me. I don't like Strahd one bit because that's the campaign that to me, like, enjoyment equals punishment. It's a punishing game and it's meant to be a punishing campaign. And I don't know. I want to get some enjoyment out of it. I want some wins for our character. It doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, but no, apparently Strahd wants that for you.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist would be cool too.
Yeah, Waterdeep would be good. We're in a current campaign right now that's doing Waterdeep.
I'm running that for Megan and some other friends of ours from our church, and it's been a good time.
I am also playing a barbarian in that one, but not a dragonborn. I am a halfling in that one.
Tilde Anklebiter.
Matilda Tilde Anklebiter, and she talks with a southern accent.
Yep.
I'm a little bit too good at it.
You are already on your second playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3, as we mentioned previously, playing a previous character from a D&D campaign, Arista. So you're doing a sorcerer this time. You liking it as much as you liked Barbarian?
Yes, actually. And I wasn't sure how well I would adjust to it because that is a hard left turn from, a melee fighter to a distant spellcaster. But watching you operate with your druid and Gale enough, I kind of got to take notes, like mental notes, like, oh, this is probably how I should be playing this character. Let me take advantage of the hiding points. Let me take advantage of how far away I can cast this spell. And honestly, I've adjusted a whole lot easier than I thought I would. So both are just as enjoyable, I think. So I would recommend anybody to, we were just talking about with our son about what your gran used to say about trying new foods is that you don't have to finish it, but you do have to try it twice. I would say the same thing with Baldur's Gate is try it twice because you're going to get a completely different playthrough than you probably will the second time or first time you play it.
Yes, and then play with mods, which makes it really interesting. I currently have one that adds Super Saiyan as a race into the game, as well as one that lets you play Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Of course there is.
Lots of good mods. Probably one of the best ones, actually, though, is infinite amounts of all of the dyes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can dye your equipment without having to worry about buying all
That'd
that.
be nice. I was at a point where I insisted on all of my armor being matching rose pink.
Yeah, you got big into your adventure being a fashionista.
That was fun. Not until stage 3, but I really liked it for my character. But is there a mod that will allow the bard tiefling? I always forget her name. Alfira?
Yes, there is one that keeps Alfira in the party. I looked.
Yeah.
Because if you play the Dark Urge, which you haven't done yet, which is the canon story, that's like the intended version of the game, like by the studio. She does join the party, but your character, spoilers for when you eventually try Dark Urge, your character kills her during like sleep. So like she joins the party and you wake up to find that you have disemboweled Alfira. And there's no way around it, but a mod goes around it.
Oh my gosh, no.
It's like your first like horror of being like, there's something bad about me. The story of the Dark Urge, I'll spoil a little bit for you. Mm-hmm. Orin is a child of Baal. The Dark Urge is also a child of Baal, mm-hmm. which is a thing in the previous 2 Baldur's Gate games. In both Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, you play a Baal spawn. So playing the Dark Urge continues that theme. But yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because...
Or you could just have lightsabers.
Now that sounds pretty good.
All that being said, outside of mods, honor mode when?
I mean, I feel like this could be a game that I might get into as much as Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 2, I want to say. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe is the only game where I went like on the hardest levels or, playthroughs. Because I felt like the vanilla game was just too easy. Fallout 4, I was never stupid enough to play survival mode. I'm not a glutton for punishment. But I don't know, maybe Baldur's Gate, if I play it enough, I might want to entertain the idea. So I'm not saying no, I'm just saying not yet.
Maybe keep an eye on that with stream. Speaking of which, I and a couple other streamer friends of mine, notably Wall Street Wolf and Jada, are talking about doing an all Chaos Sorcerers stream of Baldur's Gate 3 where we all just play things that were all on the Wild Magic table and see what hijinks we get up to, going for maximum chaos.
Just complete Chaos Crew playthrough.
Yeah, so keep an eye on that on the Adjunct GM at Twitch.
We also talked about maybe me playing another solo playthrough, possibly. Just to keep things going on our Twitch channel for a while until we're ready for that playthrough.
You could do, so the game has a setting when you're playing on stream where you can link it to Twitch and the chat makes all your dialogue decisions.
Oh, I don't know if I trust the chat. I don't know if I trust complete total strangers. That's a bit rough there. I don't know.
But we're going to wrap things up real quick. I do want to ask, Megan, if you could have one spell from Dungeons and Dragons in real life, what would it be?
So we talked about this earlier, and you brought up something that I'm like 100% yes, I would want this in my life. Simply because I hate cleaning with a passion. I hate messes. I hate anything in that sort of realm. Prestidigitation. Like, I would not have to clean up any more dirty diapers, no more doing dishes, no more sweeping the floor, no more vacuuming. Just prestidigitation. Done. That would save so much time out of my day and so many stressful parts of my life.
I am between two. My actual choice is the spell Gate, so that like you could travel anywhere once per day. You could just move to where you want to go. But that being said, Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Would be pretty great.
That would be pretty good, yeah.
Not having to worry about a mortgage, just having exactly the house you want.
And you wouldn't even have to buy land. You could literally just fit it on a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
if you had like an agreement with a friend or something, and you just pay a little bit of rent every month just to rent out like 1 foot of square space for a door.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I think that's about it. Is there anything you want to add?
Well, just a couple of things. First of all, we need to do this a whole lot more often. Thank you to Rufus Dawkins for allowing us to use his song, If I Like You, as our intro and exit music. And then also, finally, we always have to end this with a joke. Kind of had to rush this one a little bit because I forgot up until we started recording just now that I needed a joke. So I don't know how good this one is. And really, it's going to be just for the fans that like really know Baldur's Gate, like you. But we'll see how well this lands. What did the stealth ranger say when he snuck up behind a miniature giant space hamster? What did the...
Boo.
He said boo. Yes. Boo.
Fun. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's about it. We're going to make this a short but sweet one. We'll see you next time. We're heading to the Florida Keys here next week, and we're going to have an episode about vacations coming up.
It's going to be our kiddos' first time at the beach and seeing the ocean, and we're excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you after that, but have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
You like me, if I like you, yeah. If I like you, if I like you, you like me, if I like you, you like me, why don't we? Why don't we?